to not remember who we are. There is no other race of people on the planet like the enslaved black man who was brought 9,000 miles from the east to here. There is no other group of people who are described in the Bible as those who would be enslaved in a strange land for 400 years. And after those 400 years, God said that he would come and he would raise us up. Well, we're being raised and nobody can stop it. There was a time when you could murder a revolutionary, but as Fred Hampton say, you can murder a revolutionary, but you can never murder the revolution. It's on. And as long as you stand with God, you will live. I don't care what they put in your path. But we must begin to step out of our comfort zone because we are reverting back to the time that we were under complete and total control of someone else's thinking. You all don't think so. But when someone puts you on a well-paying job, you're a slave because you can no longer speak about anything for fear of losing that position. So you will be quiet on every point. The old men love to see these young 13 and 14-year-old girls with their booty cutters on because they're freaks and perverts. And their wives are at home, just happy that you're making money, but she's not attracted to you. The black woman is looking for young men with big penises. Yeah, those who got the guts to go out. And if it ain't that, then they're so engulfed in the church. So they're so holy, you can't tell them nothing. But no matter what it is, we've turned our back on the lesson that God wanted to teach us. And as a result of turning our backs on that lesson, we now are deeper in the lesson and too weak to come out of the lesson. So the Bible talks about the watchmen and their job. Therefore, humble yourselves. This is 1 Peter 5:6-9. Humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you at the proper time, casting all of your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Be of sober spirit. Be on the alert. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. How do you prowl around like a roaring lion and nobody knows that you're there? Because we are so accustomed to noise that you don't hear the lion roaring. You just think it's boom, 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 boom. The roar is a whisper. In the garden, it was a whisper, but it was a roar. It destroyed humanity. And I don't care what degree, what title, what football position. I don't care what it is. If you dedicate yourself to this world, then you are satanic. I am satanic. This is Satan's world. The hereafter, we don't know what it looks like. But that's what we're after. So if you're not fighting for the hereafter, then you're fighting for the here. And the scripture says to be in the world, but not of it. But we want to be in it and of it. So it says in 1 Peter 5:6-9, 8, it says, be of sober spirit, be on the alert. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion seeking souls to devour. But resist him, firm in your faith, knowing that the same experience of suffering are being accomplished by your brethren who are in the world. If you're not willing to suffer for the love of your people, that they will find God, then we will revert back. It's 51 minutes in, and I want to close on this. From 1932 to 1972 was 40 years of the syphilis virus, and every time you see black folks getting on, yeah, man, what they did to us, man, and how they did us with the Tuskegee experiment, man. Well, I typed into Google, is the syphilis epidemic worse now than it was during the Tuskegee experiment? And it said yes, that syphilis is up to 61% in the black communities in particular, 61%. They didn't do that. We did that. You know your penis was burning. You know you had sores on the tip of your penis. You know you had sores on your behind, on the bottom of your foot, but you went into that woman anyway, and vice versa with the woman. So like I said from the very beginning, there is evil inside of us that we want to justify. That's why you see everybody on the car shaking their tail, ho, 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 and making that the normal. Because that's the wickedness that we want to be. And the elders are putting our children in position to get hooked on drugs and sex because they couldn't get no higher than that themselves. They were weak. They didn't try to climb out, and the preachers didn't try to help them, most of them. They just wanted you to come to church and be in the number. Rather you save is none of their business. So today, 2025, ain't nobody injecting us with syphilis. We doing it. Ain't nobody giving us these drugs. We doing it. Ain't nobody giving you the gun for you to kill your people. We doing it. Death by design. The scientists went into the lab. As Satan said, I'm seeking for souls that I can devour. They study us. And they studied that song, Where Them Fans At. They studied it. I'm telling you what I'm telling you. And now they in the church talking about where them fans at. I ain't saying 803 Fred. I don't think he understands what's happening. I mean, when a buck comes your way, if you're not careful, you go for the buck. We had a great event in closing, Dale Castro Powell and Larry Taylor, and I really hope that y'all will thank Larry and T.Y. and all the people from Summit and all of the cooks who came out for all of their hard work. I know Dale is thanking them. I didn't want to have much to do with that event. I told them I didn't want to do no flyers. I didn't want to do nothing. I just wanted y'all to do y'all thing, and boy, they did their thing. It was beautiful. But I was praying, though. I was praying because I understand our people. And God told me, get on the mic. And if you out there, you heard me say the way we came here, let's keep that same energy, because I felt the energy shifting. That's what a watchman is. You feel the energy shift. I saw the eyes change as people started sneaking in liquor and weed and other things. And many of you don't know this, but there was a pop while we were out there. Y'all don't know this. But somebody dropped a gun out of their pants and it accidentally went off. God protected us. You don't get so into the fun that you don't understand that we are under divine trial. You stay focused, and that's how we're trained, to stay focused with God, to ask God. I couldn't even do my thing because I got so nervous. I got so uneasy. You dig? You understand what I'm saying? Some of us are born for that. It was an excellent event. Mayors and senators and preachers and man, they did it up. It was beautiful. The food was so good and the atmosphere was so good. God protected us. And he put a shield around those who were just having a good time. Can you imagine what would have happened if that bullet would have hit one of those children or somebody over there? Can you imagine that? I mean, they was rolling dice and everything. But God kept us safe. You know why? Because the intentions were great. Larry Taylor. Y'all don't know Larry. Y'all are thinking about the now but man, Summoning and Manning? Oh my God, rest his soul. I think his name was Adron. God rest his soul. Oh my God. Sammy? Woo, man. The elders said enough was enough. and God protected it. But when you don't say enough is enough, when you are addicted to your own sexual desires and all this extra stuff, God is going to pull his hand back like he did with Job. So now we are at a higher percentage of syphilis than we were during the Tuskegee experiment, but everybody is in the past doing Black History Month talking about Tuskegee. There's a book out called The Delectable Negro where they used to eat black folk. Everybody talking about it, but not trying to change it. Because changing it is difficult. And see, Dale and Larry and T.Y. and Warren and Ella and everybody involved, they took on the task of changing. Ella was out there sick. I don't want to put her business on the street, but she didn't leave. She stayed. That's why God protected it. Warren out there, all the generators blowing out, and we got to keep plugging them in and turning them back on. But we stayed and we smiled the whole time. We stopped a major incident prior to that event. Y'all don't know nothing about it. By God's permission. But if somebody don't stand up, my point in closing, and take on the challenge of doing better, things will look like they're getting better, but they're only getting worse. We had 61% of syphilis cases. Our children are being born crazy. And if you have syphilis untreated, it will deteriorate your brain. It will cause you to go mentally insane. And our people are going insane at 50 and 60 and 30. They're going crazy. Our women are breastfeeding their babies with syphilis in their milk. I thank you all for tuning in. I thank God for allowing me to do it. I pray that I covered everything as I was supposed to. My point is that we fell in love with the wickedness. And in falling in love with the wickedness, when you're a part of it, you don't see how wicked it is. But God has raised watchmen and watchwomen who can feel when the community is off, feel when the family is off, feel when they are off, feel when the church is off. And there was a time when we would just feel it and leave, but now we got to stay and point it out. We're in a period of pointing at the devil, as Christ said, you are of your father, the devil. And if you're not able to do that, then God is going to sit us down. So I had to sit down, be quiet, and catch it. We're at another stage now, and it is scary. But I really don't want to turn around. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Jamil Salib Zamir, Manning, South Carolina. Let me make sure I stop this because I never stop.